Hi. So my question is directed at Dr. Peterson. I've been watching your lectures online for a while, and you talk a lot.
Come a little closer to the mic.
Thank
Sorry.
you.
Okay, you speak a lot about, that's better, you speak a lot about character archetypes and narrative and the importance of the Jungian idea of the personal narrative. I'm having trouble formulating this into a question, but I guess with the idea of archetypes in mind, are you familiar with Benoit Mandelbrot's idea of fractal patterns? And if so, what do you think? And is there a connection there maybe to be found?
Well, there seems to be a metaphorical connection in that the great is reproduced in the small. And that's certainly an idea that permeates, let's say, religious and theological speculation. You know, there's an idea that, here's an idea that, it's like the idea of the genie, which is the same root word as genius, you know. The genie is something of unimaginable power that's constrained in a very small space. And that's kind of what a person is like. You know, we have this affinity, we have this connection to the infinite. We have this connection to the divine, but it's constrained within our frames, right? And we have to act out the divine narrative in the confines of our own life. And so there is this overarching reality, which is something like the forthright confrontation with the catastrophe of life, right? But that has to be made personal, you know, so that's one of Jung's, I would say, deepest ideas, is that the archetypal has to be made personal in your own life. And so you take the generic pattern and you personalize it, and then the infinite and the finite meet, and that's the perfect combination. And there's something about that that's, well, unutterably profound, I would say, and as true as anything can be. And I think people know this at a very deep level, because you do know when you're struggling to go to sleep at night and your conscience is bothering you, and you think through the things that you did in the day and the week, you'll take solace in the things that you did that were noble and true. And you can breathe a sigh of relief that you're not completely corrupt and lost. And then you can sleep. It's like everyone knows this. Well, we need to know it consciously, right? And that's part of the process of making the archetypal personal. And that's part of what the religious process is supposed to be about, is to outline the archetypal pattern, and then to say, look, you have to meditate on this, and you have to figure out how to make it true in the confines of your own life. And that gives, see, the reason that works, I think, is because there's no doubt that your life is tragic, and there's no doubt that you have a malevolent element, and that you'll be touched by betrayal and all those terrible things. But there's a nobility about you too, and that nobility might be sufficient to transcend your limitations. And I would say that your life is a struggle to determine if that might be the case. And that's the act of faith. And I also do believe, I was asked today by a South African journalist if I'm the ultimate pessimist or the ultimate optimist. You know, and I would say in some ways I am the ultimate pessimist. I think as much as I can tolerate how terrible life can be. But I do believe that the human spirit can overcome that catastrophe and can rise out of it. And I think the universities are that idea expressed in stone and tradition. It's a great idea. Everyone needs the idea, especially people who are young. You know that your life is going to be difficult. It's like no one can say, well, it's going to be easy, but you might say, well, do you want it to be easy? What's in it for you if it's easy? Well, no, you want it to be difficult and worthwhile. And you want to be the sort of person that can manage that. And that's what you should be encouraged to be at university. And that's what the universities are for. So, well, that's the archetypal and the personal, I would say. Yeah.
Thank you very much.